Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to a new edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Lemay Coulter. To my far right, I'd like to introduce my main man, KJ Kevin Johnson, former Clemson cornerback from 99 to 2002. And we have another Clemson Tiger in the house. He's our special guest.
Teammate.
He's right now coaching at Clemson. This guy played at Clemson University from 98 to 2001. He played tight end, played in the Peach Bowl against Mississippi State, and a couple other balls. Help me give it up for Mr. Jason Lemay. What's going on, Jason?
Hey, what's up, man?
And I'm so grateful and blessed to be here and be able to speak with y'all. And thank you for inviting me onto this podcast. Just being able
to... For the people that don't know you, Jason, let them know where you're from and a little bit about your background.
Okay. Well, I'm from a place called Black Mountain, North Carolina. It's in North Carolina, small little town outside of Asheville. When I was growing up, it was a population of, 10 to 20,000 maybe.
Okay.
All right.
My high school had about 800 students, so we were a small two-way high school. We had factories and plants until NAFTA in 99. And so since we should do a tourist attraction and a destination place.
Wow. It's nice, man.
It's beautiful.
We need to take a visit, man, Jermaine, for real. See what's up.
You love it. Good food.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, man. So let's take you back to your childhood. Or what age you start playing sports, and what sport was your first love growing up in North Carolina?
Well, football. I started playing football when I was 5. Full contact.
Oh, dang. Yeah, you got thrown out there.
Yeah, we did things different back in those days. But football and baseball started off around 5. Played basketball and track and field. And so football, I think a total 18 plus years, and track and field. But what I really love is track and field is my passion.
Oh, man, nice.
Yeah. So what he said you used to run in track and field growing up?
No, I didn't run anything. I ran the big race at the end, but I was a thrower, so I threw shot and discus.
Okay, cool.
I was able to coach at my high school the last couple of years and do that, and it's just a passion. I love it. It's just a very individual team sport to where everyone has to bring something to the table, and if you, it shows.
Yeah.
We don't have that too often. People like track. Hey, that's painful, man, but that's good. It worked out for you. Hey, so what famous athlete you looked up to, in your younger years?
Well, Brad Johnson was one of them. He was played at Florida State, and he won the Super Bowl with Tampa. I think 2001, if I'm not mistaken. He played at my high school, and the way he gave back to our community and visited our community, and he through football, I got to actually catch for him one time when he's in the NFL.
Oh.
He was driving from Florida up to Minnesota, and he called me and asked me to come out and catch some footballs for him. So I caught about 3 of them. The rest of them just hit my hands because it was doing 40-yard drop back, 7-step drop back, 40 yards. But he was someone I looked up to a lot when I was younger.
That's good, man.
Okay, cool. So growing up in North Carolina, what other hobbies you used to participate in as a kid, man? I know back in, those days, bike riding, trail,
yeah.
like that, meeting up, playing basketball in the neighborhood. Talk about your neighborhood a little bit.
Well, I didn't really live in a neighborhood. I lived up in a holler on the side of a mountain because we're in the, so my neighborhood, on my road was called McCoy Cove Road. So everyone had about an acre or more back in those days. And so you had a house up there. It was ruralish, excuse me. But now not so much. Now there's about a house everywhere you can throw a rock.
Okay.
But, it was up on a hill, so I biked a lot of biking.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That's good exercise, man, for real. Yeah, a lot of leg work. For real.
That's why my calves were so big because I had to go.
Yeah, that explains it. Okay, yeah. Hey man, let's talk about your first year in high school. Did you play right away? Make an impact?
My first year of high school, I was on JV.
Okay.
From what my mom said, she wouldn't let me move up, but I wasn't good enough to get on varsity because my high school, we were pretty good back in the day. We had a couple 10-0 teams, a couple that made it close to state. I was on one of them. And but my freshman year, I did just a nerdy, hoping not to, get beat up by the seniors, freshmen. So
Yeah.
I was still just tall and lanky. I didn't really know my body very well yet.
Okay. In the awkward stage of adolescent and teenage, young
Yeah,
kid.
learning stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So let me ask you, you played dual sports in high school, right?
I did. I played football, basketball, and track and field.
Okay, no baseball in high school. So talk
No.
about the other sports you participated in. You said you threw the shot put earlier. Talk about basketball a little bit. What position did you play there?
So I was center. I was the worst center just scoring. I started senior year. I was on varsity my sophomore year because I was just a bigger kid. My senior year, I averaged 0.7 points a game, but I did average 5 fouls, a few technicals, and a lot of rebounds to save balls. So,
yeah, Dennis Rodman type. Yeah, yeah, man.
I did what I could do. They'd pass me the ball, I'd throw it back to somebody else.
keep it simple. Yeah, yeah. So, hey, playing high school football. Who was the competition in the area? Was there a lot of competition?
They were the 4A high school in our area, and we were the 2A. So in our county, there's 6 county schools and 1 city school, and so we were the smallest school in the county, and we shared a border. So that was our big rival back then.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was pretty good. Our senior year, they were number 4 in the state, I think, 4A or maybe number 1, somewhere around there, and we beat them 20-0 or 27-0 on our own home field.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
little 2A school.
All right. Yeah.
Do you consider that the biggest win in your high school career?
Ooh. That's a good question. I don't know. We had some good playoff games where we played against teams that were from downstate. Excuse me. That we probably shouldn't have beat, but we've found some way to beat them. But that would probably be one of the most memorable for sure. Because they were just the powerhouse. They were the rival high school because we were the more country folk high school, and they were the more like suburb side of Asheville's high school. Very good program, and their coach Bobby Poss back then was an amazing coach. But we always had good rivalries.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Yeah, so you was an all-sport athlete in high school. Did you participate in any all-star games?
I did. I got invited to the Shrine Bowl and the East-West All-Star game.
Word. Okay.
Was this in both sports or is this in one sport?
Just football.
Okay.
Yeah, in track and field, I just I made the states. I think I did like 9th in the shot and the discus. So that was about the only extra I did in that sport.
All right. And as far as the playoffs in football, you guys made it to the semifinals, correct?
Quarterfinals. So
okay. All right. And is that the same in basketball? How far did you go in basketball?
Man, my senior year, we were like picked to be nothing. And we just came out of nowhere. We conference tournament. We end up going downstate and beating the team in sectionals. The same team that beat us in football in the playoffs, we beat them in basketball. And then we went to the regionals. So that was pretty cool. We didn't do so good in regionals, but we banged a lot of bodies.
That's good, man. All right, man. Let's talk about the recruiting process coming out of high school. What schools was looking at you at that time?
Wow. So the crazy thing is I was really digging North Carolina.
Tar Heels.
Football camp. That's where Mac Brown was coaching. And so if I remember, I was in the top for the recruit for tight ends, and then this other kid who was 6'7", he came before me. So that was like my junior. I was like, I'm probably not going to get looked at. But actually, I committed to NC State before my senior year. And my cousin went there, and it seemed like my kind of place. But the recruiting process, that's where I narrowed it down. But whenever someone would call, I tell them I'm already committed and all that. So most schools would leave me alone. But the coach asked me if he keep calling me. I said, well, sure, I'll keep talking to you. And eventually, the North Carolina State coach left, my recruiter, and a guy from Clemson came up, and apparently he got fired from down here, and because he was not a good recruiter, because he's barely talked to me, would call me that once a week. Oh, okay, you're still good. I'm still good. And so South Carolina was giving me more love, and I was like, I'm going to open up my recruitment. And when I opened it back up, Clemson came in the picture, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, Jeep was the one that was at the Shrine Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. He was the Clemson rep. But after the Shrine Bowl, they offered me. And so I was like, I'm going to choose between South Carolina and Clemson. And so I was like, well, it's in basketball season. So, I'm in the mountains, right? And I was like, let me see what I can do to like really get the most of this. So I'm like, hey, I have to play my basketball games on Friday. Can y'all fly me down? So both schools flew me down in their private planes from Asheville.
Dang, nice.
Yeah, it was fun. South was a little longer, but Clemson, literally we took off and we just went straight down and landed.
Yeah, it was quick. Yeah.
But it was I almost went to South Carolina because Brad Scott was the head coach, and never seeing something like that before. I was like, wow. And not a lot of, there's just a stadium. And so then you come to Clemson, and back in the day, if you remember, the IPTAY building had all the bowls on the side of it.
Yeah.
So it was like I walked up and I'm like, I bet you I'm bowl. I said,
that's right.
And so next year, my freshman year, Coach West got fired, and Coach Bal came in, and Coach Scott was my coach, which was pretty amazing because the crazy thing is he coached Brad Johnson at Florida State when he was a defensive coordinator down there.
Oh, man, I didn't know that. Wow.
That I had a connection with Coach Scott.
Okay, cool. So when you get to Clemson, who was the player or teammate, or it could have been a coach other than Coach Scott that kind of welcomed you into the Tiger family?
Coach McWhorter, when I came down there with Coach West. Coach, I love Coach West. He was an awesome coach. I just hate what happened my freshman year, but Coach was one of them. But honestly, when it really comes down to it, it's the strength staff that really welcomes you because that's who you spend most of the time with. And so then we got Coach Batson, Coach Ruben Mendoza, and Coach John. And Coach Larry Green was not Coach Larry Green that he is today. He was actually grad assistant Larry Green back then. So that's really where I felt the most comfortable because we were always around them.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right,
man. Hey, let's talk about your first year with the Tigers. Did you redshirt or did you play right away?
Man, I called it Suicide Squad. I was redshirted, and my guy I got to go up against every day. Like I tell the players, I said he's a 42nd pick in the draft that year. Raheem Abdullah. He's like 6'6", outside linebacker, would come up, and I'm in a 3-point stance. In a 2-point stance, he would, destroy my life. And so
you got to be quick, man. I'm telling you.
Oh no, with him it was. He was strong, everything. And plus, I came from a house where we used our shoulders and our arms to block. So blocking my hand, I never got that till my freshman year at Clemson. But the cool thing is, after a couple of weeks of him just tossing me around like a rag doll, he was like, "All right, I need you to shoot your hands this way. You need to do this to me and do that to me." And so I was able to learn through him. Like he wanted me to do different things to him so he could get out of it because he got out of it, and I was able to learn. Through that. And so it was scout team, but it was pretty cool. I still came home on the week. I still came, saw my friends, stuff like that. But, freshman year was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. My roommate was Joe Don Reams, and I love
that. Joe, man, incredible athlete, man. Joe Don can go, man.
Oh yeah,
good athlete, baseball prospect, and wide receiver, punt return specialist.
brothers only played Major League Baseball, so I think he had no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now he was.
Yeah. Hey, did you get a little piece of that power hour, man? You know, like 5 in the morning where you pushing trucks and pulling trucks towards you.
We were the ones we were the where he created that stuff at. We were
Wow.
Power Hour 2. And he has a picture up in his office of us. So we were Power Hour 2, and yeah, I was lucky and I was blessed enough, not lucky, blessed enough to work with Coach Bass in the last 2 summers. And then in the winter this past year, he allowed me to come in the weight room. And I'll tell you, we talk about that and we have some really good laughs, and the things that we talk about it, is we're like, yeah, that training technique's not exactly seeable anymore. That's say that, but back then you just did it. And
telling you.
You have strength coaches that are massive, and you're like, I don't know whatever I'm doing, but I'm going to end up looking like them. You got it.
Yeah, that's right, bro.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. But just finished actually in the winter. I threw indoor track, so I was able to talk to Coach Pollock, and because I wanted to throw anyway and do track and try out in college, and so Coach Pollock let me throw an indoor weight and an indoor shot, and Coach Bowden came and told me I couldn't do it no more, but I enjoyed it for that little bit I got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you did.
Talk about was the second year you was there, you went to the Peach Bowl, right?
Correct. Yes.
Against Mississippi State, Fred Smoot and those guys.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. They got us, but that year was Coach Bowden's first year with Coach Rodriguez, which a lot of people don't. When you say our offensive coordinator was Rich Rodriguez, they're like, what? I was like, yeah, that's right after I think about 2-3 years with us, he ended up getting a job at West Virginia the first time around. Mm-hmm. But there was it was a lot. It was Pastor Gallus and I were sharing time.
Yeah.
So I'm what you call the blocking tight end, and he was the catching tight end. Pass play, more than likely he was going in. If it was a blocking play, yeah, I more than likely was getting ready to go in for that. But he was a blocker too. That's just what I do. I love blocking, and that's what I'm allowed to. With what I'm doing nowadays, I can pass that on and help them. But yeah, it was us too, and it was we went 6-6. We had to beat South Carolina at South Carolina to go to the Peach Bowl, and so we beat them, and we carried Coach Scott off the field because it was at South Carolina, since that's where he just got fired from.
Yeah, so, wow. Yeah, that's a good statement.
He's right there. That was fun. I mean, it was ups and downs, but yeah, it was a lot.
All right. Well, I got on the show real quick. I do not own the rights to this clip. We have former tight end with Clemson University and now student assistant coach Jason Lemay on tonight. For everybody that's watching, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification button so you know when we go live. You can follow us on Spotify, Deezer, also Apple Podcasts, and Facebook and Instagram, okay? We'll go ahead and get into this clip. Stay right with us, Jason.
Thank you.
Lazera comes in for the field goal. First attempt for him tonight. Fake. Oh, my God. Lazera throws. Touchdown! Vince Churchu, the fullback. 14-9. Will they go for one or two? Ball on the left hash, Mike. Look for him to roll to his right, possibly. Takes the handoff and throws the two-point conversion. A tight end catching a ball, Jason Lemay. Tight ends rarely catch passes in the end zone for Clemson. The two-point conversion follows a fake field goal. Jason Lemay, the redshirt freshman, first time he's caught it in the end zone. Playbook's open. Let's have some fun, boys.
Yes, sir. We back.
Yeah, man. Hey, he ain't had to put y'all on blast like that, though, man. Like the tight ends rarely catch balls in the end zone. Come on, man.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
because
you remember the most about that game?
say what? I'm sorry.
I said, what do you remember the most about that game? That play right there?
That's definitely one of them. But I'll tell you, so we this trick play all week. We called it Tiger, and so it was we were on the right hash. I'd say I think we're like in the 15 to 10 plus. So we were, and it was 4th and some change. So I was at 4th and 4 roughly. And so what I was supposed to do as the right tight end was block down. That's all I did was block. So I blocked down and I fell down and crawled. So literally all week in practice, I'm faking the block down and crawling behind the line of scrimmage, and I get up and I run, and Streeter's just pinging me with it all week. Well, we run it, and we're doing it, and I catch that thing and turn around and the corner.
Ooh.
Hung out. Some reason he either was lazy or he thought someone was coming his way, but I caught around it. And I mean, I had no time to make a move, so it was just like it was that. And then Corey Moore, he was a fun.
Yeah, beast. Yeah,
I got a blocking him. I don't think I was blocking him, but it looks in this picture that I was able to get. It looked like I was blocking him. He was fast, man. He was just powerful and fast. But I do remember that because that was fun. It was a good challenge blocking him that night or going up against him that night. And then he got. I mean,
yeah, Michael. Man, they had a bunch of superstars, man. You know.
Yeah. And that's played FSU and Bowden Bowl won, and that's the same year they both played. And that was one of the largest crowds ever at Death Valley. It was like 86,042 or 49 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, man.
And they just barely do.
You got somebody on here. Chris M says, super proud of Jason. I can barely see, and blessed to be able to call him. What is that? So we love you, brother. Yep. So we also have another comment. David Brown Jr., I guess from last week came on.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. What's up, David? Hope all's well.
He said strength conditioning coach at Clemson, and he's like, "God, Sherrall, South Carolina." That's where he put where he's at. All right. So somebody else is in here. David is back. He says, "Shouts out to Clemson strength conditioning coach D Love as well. There at Clemson, hometown guy, Sherrall, South Carolina." All right.
Man. Appreciate y'all.
So you started getting acclimated with the system at Clemson. You know, you got your 2-point conversion in the Peach Bowl. You know, that's pretty big. And
it was that.
No, that was at Virginia Tech.
Oh, that was Virginia Tech. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Back then, not you know, jockeying for television time was hard. You didn't have all the TV time, and so that was the second year of the Thursday night games.
Exactly. Yeah.
And huge to be. It was like a Monday night NFL game for college back then.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think it was like we had to go back to the locker room because it was lightning or something. Like it was about similar to the game.
Yep. But it was that little tiny, like at the time it was this little, I don't know, like hole in the wall, but underneath the stadium we had to go into. It barely held you, and so we had to go in there. And but we used to come down. That you would dress in underneath their basketball stadium and come through the same tunnel that they came through.
Okay.
Long time too. Man, it's a workout, man. Just trying to get to the field.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, for real.
So, other than Death Valley, what was your favorite stadium playing in college?
You know, honestly, it's Georgia Tech was pretty cool stadium. I talk about that place a lot because I don't know what it looks like nowadays. I might soon, but you know, I remember going in the bus and you're coming down, like it's just skyscrapers everywhere because you know I'm from mountains, so we don't have skyscrapers, and then you kind of look to the left and it's like these old arches, these old rock arches, like I mean really like you're like 20s 30s, you know, this turn of the century, the other century, like architecture, and you get out and you're like, oh, it's pretty cool. You walk in there, then they have all the skyscrapers everywhere, so that was pretty cool. That, and I'd probably say NC State was pretty cool because I had was able to have a pretty good game that year there too. But since I decommitted from there and going there and playing, it was pretty cool because we beat them. So
Okay. All
Hey,
right.
hey, what did you do to prepare for each game? I used to listen to a little bit of music. Did you do the same? And what kind of music did you listen to?
so yes, I did definitely, KJ. That's what gets us. And back
Yeah,
then
man. That's right.
didn't have all this nice stuff like if you had the fuzzies, or you had the ear, and I'm not sure if we quite had the wire ones yet,
Yeah.
but there was no studios or earbuds. It was pretty primal, I guess you can say, compared to what we have nowadays. But yeah,
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of cheesy. I used to have a little bit of Eye of the Tiger on there,
Here we go.
some Eminem, and then I used to
Yep.
listen to Tupac back in the day. Sometimes I listened to short. That was some good stuff back in the day. But I was never like a heavy metal kind of guy. I grew up liking all kinds of music, but
Mhm.
when I was listening to that style of rap and that era of rap, it was just I don't know, it was like a calm, get you going, but you did make your heart jump out of your daggum chest.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right, man. For real.
Yeah, I just did that.
Yeah.
Tape or whatever, because back then you didn't have too many choices of gloves. You had leather gloves, and they just started coming out with the synthetic gray Nike gloves, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Everybody had to have the same. Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
leather gloves would stretch because it was yeah. Technology is amazing now, but that's
Wow.
pretty. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Jason, you played in the Peach Bowl, Gator Bowl, and Humanitarian Bowl.
No, I actually played in the Peach Bowl, and then I transferred the next year to App State because it was just there was things going on that I needed to go get another start somewhere, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
it wasn't nothing bad, nothing happened. It was just some things going on because during the middle of the season, we were number 3 in the nation, and I had to step away to deal with some personal stuff, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
once I dealt with it, I was like, me and Coach Bowden talked, and I was like, I'd like to go back up to the mountains, and so I ended up transferring to App State. And Coach Bowden and Coach Scotty, I love them guys. They were really great to me. But I mean, all the coaches were,
Oh, yeah.
and they allowed me and gave me the skills to go up to App State to help out the Mountaineers up there for 2 years, and had a really good time up there too. That was some very memorable moments, also.
So was App State conference at that time?
Oh yeah, we were 1AA, man. Bust
Yep.
ate in the cafeteria before the game, stayed in your room the Friday night before the game. Yeah,
Man, nice. Yeah.
one ball back in the day. Yeah, it was definitely different than what I was used to. But I tell you, it reminded me of what I kind of played in high school and stuff. And it wasn't the locker room that mattered; it was the people I was around up there. And I loved all those guys, just like I loved all my teammates at Clemson, because I feel like loyalty and staying with the program, it means a lot. And for me, I would have stayed the whole time, but it was just it was just best to make to make a change for myself. And they didn't want to see me leave, but it was one of those things I needed to do for myself. And yeah, it was just a really good time up there. I mean, I'm talking about playing in snow while the sun's shining. Like it looks like a frozen tundra up there. I remember walking in pouring down rain up River Street to try to get to a class. It was, oh yeah, the weather is crazy up there. It was like once you got through the weather, school was all right.
All right.
Yeah, it seemed like you was back at home. You made that decision. But yeah, I do understand. Because once I left Clemson, I went to another university as well. So I understand. So sometimes you just need a new start somewhere and keep it moving. But let's talk about coming out of college. What was next for Jason Lemay?
So what's crazy is my senior year at App State, a third day of practice, and we did real 2-a-days back then. Remember, like it wasn't you go in a little bit in the morning, and then you have a meeting in the afternoon. Like we banged heads in the morning and in the afternoon, and then you stretched at night. Stretched. And so it was a third day, and we had AstroTurf, like true AstroTurf. And it was a misty morning, so I wore, if I'm not mistaken, I wore my longer turf shoes. They look like longer, little studded things. Caught on air, turned up, drag pattern turned up, going right. My ACL broke, just tore, blew my ACL, and so I missed the first game in rehab and ended up playing 10 games that year with no ACL. And I had a brace. I was blocking tight end, so I was averaging about 42 reps a game. And that was a really trying season, because by the end, one of the things that back then you didn't get an extra year. You didn't get, say, it was like pulling teeth. And so they laid it out in front of me, and they were just like, "Look, your quad is developed enough. We can try to rehab it and give it a shot, or you can get surgery and we can try to get you a waiver." And I was like, God only gives me today and tomorrow, and I don't know about the waiver. I said, I know I'll push myself. And so I missed the first game against Marshall, and then played the rest of the season to our last game of the playoffs against Maine, and caught a few touchdowns that year and some 2-point conversions. And I did a lot of blocking for my running backs, because that's what we did, back then. We ran it. We threw it, but we ran it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
yep. I know that SoCon conference, it had Adrian Peterson back then, the running back from Georgia Southern. He was the player of the year.
oh, yeah. All right.
And
Crazy.
championship.
Southern, and he's playing, and his jersey's retired on the side of the stadium. And we're like, I'm on the sideline. I'm like, this doesn't make. And he's just terrible. It was a close game, but that's some crazy stuff when you see. That's how good Adrian Peterson was in college. They retired his number before he left the university.
Wow. That's nice.
Yeah. He did it real big, 4 years straight. Back then, people weren't coming out college that early. I know Woodson left his junior year, and Peyton Manning, I think, left his junior or senior year. But you also had the head coach of Florida playing at Furman in your conference at that time.
Ooh, you were talking about the play, the Miracle on the Mountain. Is that what you're trying to get out of me? Let's just sip of water for that one.
I didn't know. I just knew that's where he played, because one of our teammates played with him, and he came on. I talked about him a little bit.
Yes. So the Miracle on the Mountain was, not talking about his playing. I'm talking about the call made. So it was a close game, and they scored. And so I think they were up 2 points at that time, 1 point or 2 point. And so I think there was less than 30 seconds on the clock, way less than 30 seconds on the clock. Matter of fact, I think there was probably like 10 or 15 seconds, because they go for 2. And so Billy Napier rolls out and throws it left. Well, our defensive end, Josh Jeffries, jumps up, pats it down and intercepts it, kind of like what Peyton Page did last year. And he starts rumbling, stumbling down, and he turns around. If I'm not mistaken, he tosses it to Derek Black. And then it's the most unselfish play you've ever seen. He's running, and he could rumble and stumble and do the best he could, but he looked around and he's like, I can block better than he can, and he can run better. Tossed it to him. We end up scoring 2 points on the 2-point conversion, and we win the game.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was, back then we rip goalposts down all the time, because if you beat Furman or Georgia Southern down there, up there in the mountains, like we would, and vice versa, because that was big stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So right after Appalachian State, what was next for you?
So I ended up, one of my best friends in the world, his dad used to be a defensive line coach with the Titans. At the time he was, and I asked, part of me playing that season was getting their doctor to do my surgery because it was Boone back then, and it's not what it is now. So I just thought the medical care would have been better for that injury. And so I was blessed. They were like, all right, deal. And so that was part of it. And so his dad was able to make that happen. And so I got surgery January 3rd or 6th. Ended up, couldn't do anything. But if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw something back then, like I was like 26th for the draft in tight ends that year or something. So, I think I would have had a chance because that's pretty big, dude. And I mean, blocking, that's what we did back then. You got some people like Levon Kirkland playing full, middle linebacker. You got to have big dudes to go block someone like that. So I ended up rehabbing and going to I got some help getting an Arena 2 league. So once I got my knee fixed up, I did the Arena 2 league for 7 games.
What?
Wow.
They put me into the wall. My neck and my shoulder were way over here. The wall was here. The ground was here. Game got done. I was like, you know what? I'm good.
That's it, man.
Football that I want to participate. Because I was a true tight end, so I was actually about 270 and a different 270 than I was carrying, in other parts of my life. And so, I just was like, I'm good. And so I just went to work. I moved back home. One of my best friends in the world, lived with him for a few years. And then I did construction. I did a lot of, that's where I started off. So I started off digging ditches for my little league baseball coach, Tim Swan. And he gave me a start in construction. And so he was building spec homes at the time. And so we would dig the foundations. We would frame it. We would put the siding on. We didn't do the shingles or drywall. We would do the painting and stuff like that. And so I learned how to build houses that way. And then for the next about 6 years, I was in construction, different parts of it, because my goal was to become a project manager or a general contractor. But in 2008, the
economy
gone, and I was 28, and I was never been at home since I left for college, and I couldn't get a job washing dishes. I couldn't get a job doing anything. My boss, I had to make him lay me off because I was a erosion control manager, and it went from 50 field employees to me and Mike the mechanic, who I love to this day and everything. But we were the only 2 like field people left. And I'm getting this money. I'm like, look, man. I was like, you can't pay me what you're paying me to clean tools because I don't know how. I'm no mechanic, so I can promise you what I did was hand him tools and clean stuff, and and clean up. And I was like, you can't pay me that. Well, you're paying me to do this. It's just I can't accept that. And so I got laid off shortly. Everything stopped moving, and so I had to move in with my mom at 28 with 2 dogs, and that was tough because I've been on my own since I walked out that door to go to Clemson. And
we got a clip we can get into that explains all that for everybody watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We have plenty more shows like this, very deep and touching. We have former Clemson tight end and now student assistant coach Jason Lemay. All right, Jason, we don't own the rights to this clip. Don't sue us, please. Hold right there. We'll be right back. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jason Lemay, former hospital corpsman, 2nd class, United States Navy, dive med tech from Black Mountain, North Carolina. Well, I'm a Clemson Tiger because I played football here in 98 to 01. This was the one place I always wanted to play and be a part of, and it is the most amazing family to be a part of because I'm able to come back now and finish my degree and be a student coach and help mentor these young men. In 2008, when the whole world or the whole United States just kind of crashed, I was 27 going on 28. I had to move with my mother. I lost my job, couldn't get a job because it was a recession. So I ended up on unemployment, and then I just wanted to get a job. I had a friend, best friend in the world. He said, let's go join the National Guard. And I said, I need something a little bit more permanent than the National Guard, and ended up in the Navy. But from there, I became a hospital corpsman. The CMC, the head enlisted, was like, you need to go do some good stuff. So I ended up at dive school about 5 months into my tour at the hospital. And then from there, I screened to go to Naval Special Warfare Development Group. I did 10 years and I finished up there where, I was able to jump out of planes. I was able to do a lot of really fun stuff, but also serve with a lot of amazing human beings. So I was struggling. I was struggling internally. I was struggling with trying to, figure out what's going on. I tried to commit suicide with a gun, and my dog saved my life. I know that sounds so small, but I love my dog that much. He jumped up on the bed when I had the gun to my chest, and I put it down. But then after that, I didn't go get help that I needed, and so I was drinking a lot, and I ended up using drugs and pills to try to kill myself. I wasn't partying. I wasn't going out to bars. I was at home doing the wrong thing to fix myself because I thought this would help fix myself, and it didn't. What it did is it made it worse. I tell this to people because I want people to understand that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. What makes you weak is when you don't ask for the help. Strong people ask for help. When I was about 40, it was time to get out, and so I ended up getting out, and then ended up going back to my hometown, and then I want to do something more, finish my degree, and I gave Coach Easton a call, which was also my college teammate and same class. And I came down and I talked with Coach Sweeney for the first time ever. 20 minutes of conversation, and he said, hey, if you're coming to school, you can come and help out. And it was amazing because he doesn't owe me any, I didn't play for him. So for him to allow me to come and help out with his team was amazing. I had no idea what I was going to be doing. I just came down with the hope and the prayer that this was going to be what it is. And Coach Batson, I love that man to death. He's been here since I was here back in 1998, and I just asked him if I could work in the weight room. And I said, I'll clean the equipment, I'll do whatever, can I just be here? And he's like, what you're gonna do is teach him how to lift and spot him. And I was so honored that he knows that I know that stuff, and so I was able to come in every morning and do what everyone else was doing and be part of the crew that helped get our team ready for the season.
Day, and I know it's Military Appreciation Day, but man, at Clemson, it hits different now, all right? Because this was an all-boy military school on senior day, and then somebody's got to bring the flag down the hill, all right, in front of the team, in front of me, and we'll come down and we always do that. So this year, we talked about it as a staff, and we have chosen Jason Lemay to lead our team.
I didn't really know what to think about it. Sat in my seat where we all sit in our own seats every day, and I was excited to hear who he was going to tell, and then he called my name out, but not just that, the kind words that he said about me, they were genuine. He really surprised me, and the coaching staff, but then, the players, how they reacted, and it was amazing. I don't know, I wanted to cry, but I just kept it in. I still can't believe I get this opportunity to run down that hill again in front with the flag after all the things that has gone on in my life. And this is where life kind of started for me. I mean, even though I grew up in Black Mountain, North Carolina, this is where I got to actually grow from a boy to a man. Never been more proud to be not just a Clemson Tiger, but part of our military.
When you get to the top of that hill, and how do you think that's going to feel?
I don't want to think about how it's going to feel. I just want it to feel at the moment.
Hey, Clemson family, welcome to Death Valley for Military Appreciation. I have the honor of running the flag down for our team and for our country. It's an amazing feeling to be able to step out here and represent my country at the school that I started playing football at, that I love so much, and that I get to come and do coaching and become a better human being to help out others. Looking forward to running down the hill in a couple hours. Go Tigers.
This is a true Clemson family. It says it in our building. And I'm the epitome of what a Clemson family is. I was gone for so long, and they wrapped their hands around me and brought me back in. And there's a reason this place is being down. It means more to me than you can imagine, because, for Coach Sweeney to allow me to do that, I'm just going to let that moment be the moment and let it soak in. but be thankful that I'm able to do that because I'm representing the guys behind me, the people that I served with, and I represent the people that I served for, which is this country. And to be able to carry that flag, I have it tattooed on my chest because when you're in the military, that flag is everything to you because when you're outside the wire, out in the water, you want to get back to see your flag because our country, it's a great country, and to represent it on a battlefield, in the air, in the water, however you want to look at it. But now I get to represent running down our hill at Clemson, and it's amazing to me. It's just amazing.
Yes, sir. We're back.
I love you, teammate. Man, that was emotional right there, man. Hey, because when you went down that hill, man, you went down for all of us, man. I felt that.
Thank you. It was it was wild that they asked me to do that. I think it turned in more than what we were all expecting because that same day. So just to go back to the day when Coach announced my name, I almost didn't even go in. I was not feeling good. Like I just, it was that time of year, and that the crud's going around, and I was on the back side of it. But I don't like to miss. This is my job. Going to school is my job. I got to go to school to go to football to work that job too. And so I was like, I got to go. I felt people were counting on me because I get the things I get to do in practice. I didn't want to let Coach Eason down because I was working on defensive tackles or anybody down because everybody at the practice is pretty important because Coach doesn't let you just come out there and sip on martinis and watch players. He you're out there to do something or you need permission to be on the sidelines. And so when he called my name, I was just like I never came back here to have anything to do about myself. I just try to keep what I did. I don't really not that I don't like to talk about it, but I don't really try to bring light or stuff to what I've done because I enjoy listening to others and see what other people do, and I really enjoy helping them too. And so that's why being a coach is so important to me because we get this opportunity to invest our lives that we've been through and the experiences that we've been through. We get to invest them in these young men and women when we're coaching. And so when we pour into them and we use our life experiences, both good and bad, because, the thing is, I can tell somebody something about something and I'm like, I know I did that versus somebody that may not, and they may not listen to that person. Maybe something happened, but, it's rewarding because we get to really pay back. Like for me, paying back Clemson because, me not finishing my degree, I felt like I stole from them by getting to play. And now I get to come back and finish my degree. So now I get to give back in a different way. And, I was only here 5 months, I think at the time, 6 months, 5 months roughly. And he bestowed that honor on me, and for the coaching staff to even, like to look at me like that made me feel even more part of everything because behind those walls in that building, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of good people, and to be around it is a blessing and it's an honor. And for them to like say, we want you to do that, I was just shocked. But right before we did that interview, I actually spoke to the Air Force cadets. It was about 150 of them. And I gave them more long detail. Like I gave them the in-depth, like 20-minute talk that I like to give people about, my, especially that, certain crowds like military. I try to talk more about the suicide stuff because, we got 22 a day, and it's not just armed forces. Football, older football, players and stuff. We're seeing things are happening to them in different ways too, to where they're also doing things that aren't normal. And so, for me, I was able to touch that audience. I talked for about 20 minutes. I mean, I'm up there and I'm like, okay, here we go. First time I was really in front of people, like telling my story, because usually I told a couple, a crowd of people or something. And so I told them. I mean, it was more in depth. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, I tried to commit suicide. I was like, hey, I put the barrel here. I had it like this. I was ready to rock and roll, and then a little more in depth with the drug, trying to kill myself with the drugs, because they need to hear that. And when people say they don't, that's the problem, because we have to talk about it and we have to understand that it's a problem, and it's not a problem. It's a problem that we can help each other through, the ones that have been through it and survived and got to the other side, because the ones that didn't, we can't, we got to honor them. We can't let them commit suicide in vain. And, and for me, my father committed suicide when I was 2.5. And so, I grew up without a dad because he decided to shoot himself. And so, that was part of my deal too, because I was actually, the gun I was going to use was a 30-30 lever action. It was my dad's. And so, I had that thing ready to rock and roll, and my dog jumped up on my bed, and I just got him back from my ex-wife, and because she had to watch him because of what I was doing in the military, I couldn't have him. And so I had that dog since he was like born. And, I just saw life and energy, and it gave me a piece of like, man, you can't do this with him watching. You got to step away from it. So I stepped away from it, and then even more so, I got in, thought everything was great, and it wasn't, because I was going to the feel good doctors, and they tell you things that put you on all kinds of medications. And about that time when I tried to commit suicide, and also with the drug use of trying to kill myself, I was on about at one time probably 10 different medications for everything. It was just insane, because that's what you do. They just throw stuff at you. And so once I got out of the military, I stopped everything, got off of it. I found other ways to handle more organically, ways to handle things through like meditation. I went through a couple programs at Camp Southern Ground down in Fayetteville, Georgia. Zach Brown is the owner of it, and created this amazing camp for vets. And so they have two different courses to go through. And one course is Warrior Week, which is just at Camp Southern Ground. And so I went to that, and I was able, and it was this was afterwards, after I went through everything. I'm in my hometown. And so this is where I'm doing like a little maintenance, just getting back things better. And so go down there, I do that for a week, and then they're like, hey, you need to go to the other one. And so I went to Warrior Path, which is for first responders, combat veterans, veterans that have been overseas in war zones, stuff like that. And so I went to that, and, that really put me over the edge to where I was completely tumbling down in this amazing, weight was lifted off. And I was able to pick myself up when I went through that, because things were going okay. I was back in my hometown, but I just wasn't going anywhere. And so I was coached at my high school, still trying to, find a job. And so, yeah, I just went through that, and it helped me start to see a different path for myself. So there's things like that I use to help me versus the medications, because if you can organically do it and naturally do things, that to me is a better way to do it. I'm not saying I still take ibuprofen if I need something, but for the most part, I'm not taking 10 pills a day.
Yeah, you speaking all that. I just know my mental health problems, it kicked in once football was over with, sports period, man. Yeah. And now it's like you gotta, like I said, you gotta find another way, your purpose, and what I'm saying, why you here, find another niche.
No, KJ, you hit it right, man. It's a purpose. And so we're finding our purposes because we're allowing ourselves to lean in. And for me, it's just personally, I'm leaning into my faith more. I'm leaning into God more. And I'm, I'm Jewish. So for me, when I'm around a lot of Christians, but guess what? God is God is God. I just want to be around godly people because, people, for me, it's just a better, like Coach says, you surround yourself with people you are, who you are is what you surround yourself by, and so I just feel, I'm not saying that I don't hang out with, but what I'm talking about is where my work environment, the environments I put myself in. I mean, I still go out in the world and I do stuff, but purpose that we find with all that, and it drives us. And so, we're able to give back because we're people that want to serve. Football, we served the person to the right and to the left of you.
Yeah.
And that to me was the hardest thing because I was so loyal to my teammates and vice versa that like when you're not around, I mean, everybody goes back to either where they're going somewhere new or going back to where they're from.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to the same place. And so, it was hard on me, especially when I left Clemson, man. I loved every one of my teammates a lot. Had good times, left, didn't leave on any bad terms with nobody. And then when I got to Boone, man, those are some great people, too. And I love every one of them the same. And then you don't have them no more. They're gone. You got this ball. And now it's like getting kicked out when you're 18 and you don't have a job, you don't have friends, you don't know what's going on, but you're in your 20s and you're like, I've been doing this, and that's not what you got to do anymore because now you got to pay the bills, you got to pay for the lights got to stay on, the belly, and so that now now we have purpose.
Yeah,
we purpose
Right,
driven.
It's a great story, man. You're right where you're supposed to be right now. Considering the fact that everything could have been worse, we appreciate you coming on the show and sharing this intense and deep, passionate story about life in football and the commitment, depression, everything, the pain and the glitz and the glory that comes with it. What is your message to the youth? Based on everything that you've actually overcome in your life.
For me, I sum it up like this. And this is what I've said before, and I'm going to always say it when I have these moments, speaking engagements, because it's okay to not be okay. It's not okay to stay not okay. And what I mean by that is it's okay to have the feelings of negativity, depression. It's okay to have suicide thoughts. It really is okay. But if you don't seek out a way to remedy those negativeness, then that's when it starts to become wrong. And so, when I've been able to, with coaching and the high school level for a couple of years, and then coming here and being able to assist the coaches in what they allow me to do, to be around the players. And, that's the thing that I try to let them know, because I love those people. I love every one of them players. I love all the staff there. And you just have to find help out there. You have to talk to somebody, but you got to talk to the right person. And, with the youth nowadays, they have, I mean, right here, like, look at this, like when we played ball back in the day, we weren't doing none of this. I had to come to where y'all were physically, so aren't able to understand the magnitude of the digital era. We were just there when it was being created. So, come up with this frame. And so the thing that I think we have to do is not so much a message to the youth, but is a message to the adults that deal with youth every day. So we just have to do better. And we have to, and I'm not saying do bad things, but if we can make them better than us, that's where we get the wins at. And, to youth, I say just be teachable or coachable, but also know when you smell some BS too, both ways.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
Yeah.
and have to do better as the adult in charge, because we're starting to see like these youth league games getting out of hand with parents, you know, not giving good examples for their children. That's, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely to ask for help when you need it.
Yep.
All right. Hey, you got any shout outs as well before we head out?
Oh, thank you, KJ. Yeah, you know, I might miss some people and I'm sorry, but you know, in my home, you know, I mean, obviously God, I give a shout out
Yeah,
to
most definitely.
for keeping me and giving me another chance to
Man.
do life. But also, you know, my mom, my family back home, but my friends that I grew up with and the friends that I still have today. Some of my best friends, you know, I miss them. They're back in my hometown, Chris and Toops, and you know, I miss them. They're two people that have been really strong in my life growing up with. I miss one of my, like, it's weird. He was my coach, but he's also my friend now because we're only a few years apart. But you know, John Shaw, you know, he and his family, they're like my family. I mean, so I call them family. So, but you know, my coach growing up and the people in my hometown, you know, Kenny Ford, and you know, through college, you know, just the people that helped me through. I tell you, Billy D, he sure deserved to punch me if he saw me again, because I was the best student, and so he open armed me right back, got me where I needed to go, because I go to him for advice. But you know, people like that, like Danny Poole, when I came back, you know, open arms, and you know, my wife, I actually got to marry my high school sweetheart that I dated when we found love when we were kids and created it. And we actually got married at the Rock.
Wow, man. Congratulations. Yeah.
I don't know many people that's actually got married at the Rock, and it was
Yeah.
authorized. So, you know, her following me and being part of this when, you know, we were just girlfriend and boyfriend and fiance, and she moved, you know, made the moves with me and stuck by me because, you know, we're united because of what we grew up with and where we grew up and what we went through and what we've been through. And, you know, we're still going through a lot of stuff right now. And,
Oh, yeah.
you know, she has, man, she tries to be the sunshine when I'm the thunder. And I couldn't ask for a better person to be in my life and to help me be the best version of me. And I get to help her be the best version of her too. But, you know, but honestly, if I could just take some moments to thank the Clemson football program, you know, first off, I have to thank Nick Eason, because he's the one that that helped me get back here. And
Yeah.
then,
What's up, Nick?
yeah, Nick, yeah, big
Yeah.
Nick. And, you know, it was literally like we just got done talking the day before. It's been 20 years. And, you know, he I mean, basically vouched for me, in my opinion, because coach let me come down and coach 20-minute conversation, and he was true to his word, you know. And, you know, Coach Sweeney, man, I've learned a lot because he lets me, my name is on seats in rooms my title should not let me be in, you know. And, you know, I have a seat in the staff meeting room. I don't get to be in it much because I'm in class, but it's on a. And I tell you, something so little, some people might think, to me, it's there's zero reason I have any right to be in there, you know. And he lets me see the organization for what it is, as all the coaches do for the most part. You know, there's the other stuff, but then Tracy Sweeney, his brother, because he lets me help out. I get to do security for Cade after the game, so I kind of protect him getting off the fields and stuff like that. So I enjoy doing that for Cade, and I thank Cade for letting me do it, because
Oh, yeah. For real. Yeah.
it's great being able to make sure that he's safe to be able to you know, follow his dreams. But you know, Mike Dooley, DJ Gordon, Jordan, all of them, everybody at Clemson. And You know, the whole defensive staff was amazing to me last year. Everybody on that staff, and now I'm on the offensive staff side, and they're just as amazing too. And you know, Coach Richardson, he literally lets me do things that he doesn't have to let me do. You know, because we got plenty of people, but he makes sure to allow me to do stuff. And so, you know, I'm grateful for all those people. And I know I missed some people, and I'm sorry if I did, but you know, I'm grateful for y'all to allow me to come on here and just be able to tell a little bit about my life. And I hope someone's watching and it helps them out. And, you know, I'm always here. I'm easy to find. You know, I don't hide nowhere. So if someone needs something, they can find me, and I'll be glad. You know, I'd rather help someone at 2 a.m. than go get my suit from the cleaners. I've been doing enough and my dress blues, so I don't need to go no more funerals. I'd rather talk if someone needs help, and you know, I'm very grateful for y'all. Thank you so much for letting me be here.
Oh yeah, man, no problem, man. We appreciate you coming on. Is it any other athletes like yourself that you recommend coming on the show?
Ooh, yeah, it's got me on the spot. Have you talked to Ben Hall?
Yeah, we have Ben. Yeah, we have
Okay,
Ben.
I saw Ben and what he does, man. Yeah, you talk about man living his dream. That's pretty cool what he's doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's doing his thing with the cakes. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
He started up when we first brought him on the show. Now he booming.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's gone now, man. He done launched off.
I
Yeah.
love it. I saw him doing that at ladies clinic, and I was like, and I met him. I was like, hey, you been? I said, hey, I played before you. And see, that's the connection. You know, it don't matter who you are. When you say, hey, man, I played this position before you, and they're like, yeah. Like I met Dwayne Allen this weekend, you know, and I was like, hey, man, and we just talked football for a little bit. It was nice. It wasn't, you know, it was enjoyable, and that's what's cool about this Clemson family, because
Yeah.
we know what it takes to be on that field, and we know what it takes to be in that locker room. And so it doesn't matter what year your locker room was, your locker room's still our locker room. And so that's why there's 25 people that are on the staff at Clemson football. You know,
Oh yeah. I enjoyed, you know, coming to the game this weekend, bringing my son, and I see they're starting things back up, you know, making sure it's all in. So I appreciate Dabo and whoever else behind it.
Richard
You know,
Yearing,
yeah.
Richard, he's amazing.
Oh yeah. We had him on the show as well. Yeah.
He's been mentoring me a lot too. That's someone that I need to say thank you to also, because me and him been doing some talking a lot. When I first got here, within a week, I went and talked at one of his youth camps that he had going on to help him. So,
Okay.
so
Nice, man.
yeah, great. Thank y'all.
Jumping on, Jason. We'd love to have you back on after the season. Good luck for this upcoming week. For everybody that's watching, thank you for tuning in to the new edition of Sports Shot 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. I'd like to thank my main man, KJ, for bringing his teammate on, class of 98,
Right.
Jason Lemay. And, KJ played 99 to 2002, all right? For everybody that's watching, make sure y'all subscribe to our channel on YouTube, man. Hit the notification button. Follow us on Spotify, Deezer, Instagram, and Facebook, all right? And y'all know our motto is not how you start, it's how you finish. And then until next
Keep going.
time, guys soon, all right? Please.
Right.
Appreciate it, Jason.
Thank you,
Thank y'all.
Jason, man. Take care, teammate.
Oh.
Sure.